I ran out of time. Hey guys, Christian Crew, how's it going? Uh, just sitting here reading some fine literature, looking for clues on what to do this year. Hey, who do I got in the chat first? I gotta get my glasses. Sorry, a couple of minutes behind where I wanted to be today. It's been a busy morning. My son's having a sleepover right now. My missus out of town. I came home. She's like, "I'm out of here." I was like, "Yeah, okay, bye bye." No, it's just kidding. She's off with her friend, having a good time in Montreal for the Canada Day long weekend. So it says I got 0 on the screen. So it says, oh, now it's 3. So those 3 guys, I gotta say. Oh, same time toys. You got to get back to work. So you were just poking in, everything like that. You guys were keeping each other time in the chat. So we had a ton of Crayon Slayers here, and same time toys. The 2 of them, and then me. Oh, and Real Grievance, of course. Yeah, Real Grievance, whose prize I kicked off now because I got all the pieces now. So I'm gonna set on work with that. And of course, I keep saying I'm doing videos, right? Oh my god, the videos. It's overwhelming right now how much footage we all walked away with from the weekend there, and how much product I walked away with. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I've been overwhelmed trying to even get pieces of footage to do videos with. The weather hasn't been accommodating, my life's been chaotic. So I'm way behind, and it's demoralizing because it's like you squeak out one video and you're like, oh, that's all I'm going to give them this week, Not what I wanted to do. Hey, Wraith Mace, my buddy, what's going on? We are the Hammer. Okay. Yeah, so Wraith Mace, you're going to have to send me a message either through Messenger, through Insta, or go into my channel settings, channel description. You'll see my Gmail there. Send me your address, buddy. I got a couple of these for you. I just wanted I really think these would look good next to a Terminator armor, or even with a Nemesis Dread Knight in either fist. And I seem to think you might have something like that. I haven't checked out the latest video that you dropped, but buddy, we were thinking about you the whole time. The number of guys that focused in on Joy Toy out of our group, I think, was accredited to what you have presented on your channel for Warhammer 40K. And I've got a lump Shane same time toys in with that same one, guys. If you're watching this live after the fact, that's great. But check out these guys, because Warhammer 40K is leaving. I wouldn't say leaving. Much like Chaos, it's spreading past the tabletop gaming, past the small gaming, past the role playing, past the videos, and probably into the movies. Thanks, Henry Cavill, whenever you get that off the go. But it's on the toy shelves, and it's going to end up on your shelf, and you're going to wonder why. Guys like Wraith Mace and Same Time Toys, go watch out, and they'll tell you why. So lots of good Joy Toy stuff there, and a lot of guys' footage. Did you guys have a chance to watch any of Aaron the Toy Enhancer or 3-Star Draws footage regarding that? And oh, speaking of which, look who shows up. What's up, Bubba? My buddy, 3-Star, man. Oh my god, did we ever have such a good time? I think that's the video I gotta do, is just a hodgepodge fucking montage. Oh, first 5 minutes. Oh man. A hodgepodge gosh darn montage of just what I have. Just dump it out and then start on these reviews, right? So that's what the problem is with me getting videos out. But man, did I ever have a blast meeting 3-Star Draw and his cousin Brandon Poplender. They came down separately from where I went with the airplane, and the airplane left me, and I went with Aaron, and Aaron stuck with me, and we met up with Loki Wartooth and Daredevil Dave and a guy named Punk with Toys. You might have heard of him, but that was one highlight. Getting over to Joe Fest was another highlight, absorbing everything. But the big check mark in my box was 3-Star, man. I was so glad to see him. How do you not want to get that backyard battlefield, close that loop? And, the guy made me chuckle. He made me chuckle. Ha ha ha. So, yeah, crazy how big the Warhammer is. And you guys have been checking up, okay, on all of this stuff. That's good. And that's why I also feel bad. I've lost my big window of when Joe Fest is fresh. Look, I've been on the other end of this. I didn't go to a convention. I didn't go somewhere where everybody else did. Yeah, I expected videos. I don't need a month of it, and neither do you. I'm not gonna. The longer I go without Joe Fest videos, the more you've already found out about it, right? So I'll just minimize it all, but I will do my video on my very first con, my very first Joe Fest, my very first year as a YouTuber, because that's really what it was, guys. I closed it out. I closed out my first year with some of the best goddamn bastards I've ever met in my life. All of them were there. And no, correction, all of the ones that were there were the best people I could have spent that time with. All the ones that weren't there, constantly found myself thinking about you, and so did the guys. We had lots of talks about Woody Triple Two, about Chad, about Wraith Base, about Triple C, all y'all, right? So, yeah, the punk guy, he that was an interesting thing, like I wasn't sure how that was going to go down, and like, just because he only knows us from the chat, and it was kind of funny. I'll tell that story a little bit, and I just want to kind of get back into doing a live again, because I didn't do one from Joe Fest because of the goddamn lack of understanding that the conventions that are in the hotel at the Marriott use two different servers, require two different passcodes, require two different arrangements, and I'm not tech savvy enough to have known I had data on my phone that I could have probably switched over to if I just got into settings properly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I thought. 3 stars. There's a reason 3 star isn't coming on camera today with us. It's he's going to go hang with Papa, right, and do some stuff with Dad there, and he told me as much, and I hope he has a good day. It's really rainy out here, so I'm actually happy about that. I just came back from Georgia, and it was a swelter pit down there, and I don't think 3 star is driving in a nice breezy day. I think he's driving probably in a swelter pit too, if I were guessing, man. So today I planned on talking about a couple things, more showing you some of the haul that I got, and what I was focusing on, and with these cute little things. I'll talk about some current events and just give you my stance on some stuff, maybe, because we're not oblivious. We all were watching YouTube while we were at Joe Fest. We've seen some of the videos that are out, and you know I know there's drama again. I just don't care. I really don't, because it doesn't involve me this at all. It didn't involve me last time, but it involved people I knew, and involved young channels, I would say. The last time we had drama, it affected everyone, so everyone kind of had a stance and opinion. This newer drama, I don't so much have anything to say on it, because why would I weigh in? It doesn't have anything to do, right? And I'm talking specifically about particular channels that seem to be at odds. But there is some sideliners that are also making videos, very concerned about the drama and how it might affect them. I've seen it. They're very concerned. They seem very concerned. So I don't think channels like ours have anything to be concerned about, because you can see our face. Why would we do something that we wish you didn't know we did? And most of us are willing to be held to account for everything we say, even the wrong stuff. Like, what's the harm in apologizing if you're freaking wrong, right? But there does seem to be a hunt on for the self-proclaimed top feeders, right? The ones that declare themselves a little bit above it all, and therefore maybe they can get away with certain attitudes or certain deeds and things, and maybe don't feel like no one has the power to hold them to account. And then last month or the month before that all started to change, and actually you couldn't quite get away with being the heel of the WWE. You couldn't be the heel on YouTube anymore without considering the consequences of what would happen, right? So fast forward, we're all at Joe Fest, and I know this drama is pursuing again, and I just said I'm fucking fed up with this. Pardon me, they're swearing again. I've talked to enough guys to see how this is actually being managed and things like this, and how it's resonating, and it's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. Okay, it's distracting, and it didn't distract us at Joe Fest, but I wanted to talk about it when I got back because these videos keep coming up and there's people that are concerned. And I'm just like, holy crap. I got some new toys. Ha ha ha. I got some new. Oh, sorry. That was a mind bender. Get you out of here. Delta 17, baby. That was one of the things I've been focusing on. Can you see it? Can you see it? There's my camera. It was, guys, my instant regret. I only bought the one figure. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wanted a footprint figure of a 3 3/4 line called Delta 17 in there because I don't collect 3 3/4 at all. That was my childhood. As an adult, I'll collect the bigger 6-inch. I was convinced. But I met Ken Poe. I met Steve Platt, Retro J, all the guys behind this. And I had such a great time just interacting with them. The longer I stood around the booth, the more I was kind of absorbing what was going on with this series. It's really kind of cool, guys. If you wanted to see G.I. Joe launched again in a different vision and in a different way from a different angle, you know, not the real American hero. Maybe this time they're the convenient American task force. No government allowed, kind of thing. This was amazing. And so this character here, I got to tell you about this character here. This character here is called Leonidas. Oh, and we've got a new guest over here. So before I carry on, oh, you're cutting in and out, buddy. Hey, man. Yeah, it's humid out there. Geez, I rolled the dice on that guest, didn't I? My God, you people in the South really... Yeah, you got those good clear sweat pores. I'll say that because you use them, man. You use them. Holy cow. Yes, website. Okay, so go over to where now I embarrass myself. The 5x5 toys are the guys who make these. Or if you go over to www.delta17toys.com, there we go, Crow. You picked it up. You picked up the obvious, you wrecky god. Yeah, go over and order them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get caught up on this. This is also how I'm going to be getting caught up on the comic, because when I was there, I did pick up the #1 issue. Where did I lay that beautiful comic down? I was trying to do a whole video on it. Yeah, like I said, with the videos, I did set that somewhere nicely aside. But when I see it, as we go, I'll hold it up. But I got it autographed by Stephen Platt and Ken Poe, like I said. And you keep hearing me say Ken Poe, because Ken's from BC, right? And I was sitting there in Georgia thinking, like, we were in Augusta at the Marriott Center, and I was like, there's just don't see any Canadians here. And then Retro J and Ken identified themselves, and a few more as the day went on, or the weekend went on. But it was awesome. I was like, somebody else made the jump here. Like, great to do. So Wilhelm Toys, hey, what's going on? You're checking in from work. That's awesome, man. This is now my work. You're not going to call it work, but it's not the easiest thing to get going sometimes, like people are finding out, and like I've been saying, right? And congrats to all the people that are finding out. I know some new channels are launched, guys. Loki's got his Daredevil Day of Grievance, and then of course we got our Triple C and Woody that are in Same Time Toys. Are all building up steam now. They've been out for a few months now, and I channels are work, guys. Channels are work, and they're fun work. Enjoy your work, but they're work. And I'm privileged to be retired from a career in the military where I can afford the time to put the work in here. I'm just having a little bit of a rougher time. That's going to go away in a couple of months. You're going to see all, and then the work is in, and you'll see all these reviews coming out anyways. So I'm just going to say hi to Triple C while we're here. What's going on, buddy? I effed up. It happens. Sometimes you're, oh my God, I got to do a live. Oh, cat needs feeding. Okay, these kids just burnt down the toilet. How'd they do that? And then I hit PM, and I meant to make AM, but Grievance corrected me. I always show up in my studios a little bit early to just kind of shake out camera angles and things like this. And yeah, this is the best I can do. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, clearly, I didn't mean PM. And then yeah, so interesting. So you are 4 away from 100, are you? All right, buddy. Well, I mean, we've got 8 in the chat, and I'm sure the 8 that are in the chat will cross-reference their data and make sure that they are subscribed to you, buddy. I'm sure of it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to talk about Joe Fest as a young channel. Let's start that way, okay? Because most of the guys here are young channels too. And if you're watching my videos, you're probably all smaller channels. The big guys are starting to know who I am, guys. That's good. That's good because, you know, I wanted their thoughts and conversations. And I got a lot of that at Joe Fest. And it was very humbling as a smaller channel when somebody said, yeah, I've watched one of yours, or yeah, I know you, right? That happened a lot. And not always when I was standing next to Aaron the Toy Enhancer or Punk or other larger guys, like in groups. Guys would individually every now and then say, yeah, I liked your videos, man. And that was cool. It didn't happen a lot, but it happened, and it was interesting. It was not something I've ever. Okay, let me put it this way. I have anxiety with crowds. My anxiety went away in this crowd very quickly when I realized there wasn't a single threat here. It was nothing but good times and toys, and I wasn't going to be browbeat. Yeah, I didn't like getting bumped into. Yeah, I didn't like having to push through. There was moments where that flooded over me, and I just went out and had a dart, and you know, like things like that. But as you go through all that, and you're getting to go into all this, the anxiety just ebbed off, and I started talking to a lot of people because the toys in front of you demanded this conversation, right? And Ostradamus Toys, hi man, hey Oz, what's going on? How you doing? I'm glad you could join us. Maybe you're having your cereal or letting your dog out on the Saturday. I don't know which time zone you're in. I don't recall. But as you were walking through, the benefit of being a young channel, a young enough channel that I can say I am under 500 subscribers, and that has not changed, and I didn't expect it to. What did change was my Insta. Okay, people hear of you, they're more likely to go to your Insta first. Oh, what's he doing on Insta? Which I have been really flat on my Insta, so I got to change that, right? I got to make my Insta more interesting, so they instantly go over and watch my channel on YouTube where I think I want them, right? So that's the big thing, guys. If you've got a young channel, I would say get your Insta on the go. If you've already been doing that, and it's me, you know, I am aware I have not got my Insta on the go, but that was something I didn't know would be the process. It was faster to get people to check you on Insta. But great crowd, so many other content streamers. There was a point where I had just met Michael Savage Land. We've been talking the night before. We ran into each other the day before, but both of us were recording content over at the ramen booth and on our little roll right at ramen. And it was like Hollywood cameramen. You know, this is our 4th time shooting this scene, so it was like acknowledge, yeah. And then the way we did the pass, he went low, I went high, you know, and it was like just nothing. There was no interruption. It was like that with a lot of guys. I thought that was a lot of fun. But here's the other thing, right? I know as a young channel, I have to sell myself, right? And that's what you guys have been doing a great job with, especially you, Cobra Commander. You got to come out hard at the gate. Don't get, what's the word? Intimidated. Don't get intimidated by any of it, right? I talked about, I didn't know what it would be like with Oz. Or not Oz, pardon me. Oz is right here. I didn't know what it would be like with Punk, meeting him for the first time in this strange circumstance, right? Of meeting at Aaron the Toy Enhancer's place. And then with 2 other of our known chat group in tow. I didn't know if Punk would be, I'll be over here on my phone the whole time talking to the guys because I got a panel tomorrow and I'm going to be busy. And yeah, it was nice to have dinner, but I got to go. I would have understood if he was busy trying to get things arranged. He needed to rack, and then Joe Fest was going to be busy for all of us, but a little bit more for him because he had commitments there, right? And it occurred to me listening to other guys after talking about, oh, Punk was awesome, Punk was awesome, and he was awesome. He absolutely was. But it didn't take very long after sitting with him, probably, I would say a few hours of conversation and just stuff going on. There was a point where I stopped looking at Punk and Aaron and the guys as anything to do with YouTube. And I started this is like this is like like an adventure crew, right? Yeah, we're all linked through the Toy Tube, Joy Tube. We all got our own unique personalities. But after a few hours, all everybody was on the level playing field, and we were just having a good time. And there was no, oh my gosh, I hope I don't say something stupid in front of anybody. I said lots of stupid shit in front of a lot of different people. Trust me, Punk could probably tell you, yes, I was very much exactly as I am here. But when we relaxed, it was awesome. We had a great time. And meeting the guys at Joe Fest, like I said, Retro J, Tony Figs, sitting down talking to Tony Figs about conversions. Come on, that was awesome. I had a great time. Yes, he's way better than me, sure, but we both have the same amount of reasons and fun and validation and gratification in doing it. So none of that stuff ever comes up. You're just sitting there with people that mutually respect yourself or each other, and then Sergeant Slaughter came, and it just kept going like that. And you've seen the footage. Slaughter sat down with all of them, right? And you've seen that epic circle picture. I want to tell you about that circle picture where you see all of us, including Daredevil Dave, doing this, and Loki's lurking there, and I'm lurking there. Right on. That's what we're looking forward to. We don't. I mean, I feel free if you didn't make it this year, but that's not the end of your toy love, is it? There's always another year, and I will always hope to see the next group because I am going back. I'm at least minimum Joe Fest or DFW, alternating every year. So great to do. But that photo was taken by Baldy Locks using his Apple Watch, and I thought it was the most incredible photo to come out of Joe Fest. Right? You saw the little disclaimer warning, no, straight to Joe Fest. Like lots of guys muckled onto that, and like man, I couldn't think of a better photo. So I just want to get it out there. Baldy Locks, you killed it with that photo, man. Thank you so much for taking that and sharing that with us and letting us all know, like, check this photo, get as many people in as we can. And we got a lot. GI Bro was there, Punk, everybody. Legion's Con this year, yeah. So I mean, DFW was going on concurrently, and so that was going to take a lot of other content creators over to another direction. And I thought it was unfortunate that they had to be staggered like that. But what it does is it lends to an idea that two different groups are covering a broad range of crap. We got this as a community. We just need to come over and compare notes, right? So I'm trying to catch up on what I missed at DFW. I am not providing very good information as to what you all missed over at Joe Fest. But for the subscribers who couldn't go to either, man, these things are going to be repeating. And if you can get yourself to one of these, I would absolutely say get yourself to one of these. And speaking of get yourself to one of these, if you're a guy named Woody Triple Deuce, you should get yourself to one of these. What's up, Tony, man? Going on, buddy? I heard Woody Triple Two has come over to come see you and Crown Fox and have a visit. That was a rumor mill. Is that happening? Is that next weekend? Is that now? I would be excited to see any video involving that, or toss a link and do just see you guys live, man. That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. The concurrency. I don't think it'll happen again. It was kind of a crappy move. But you know what? Organizing venues during the perfect window of the summer opportunity stream, where the venues aren't already booked up for something, it can be quite the handcuff and restraint kind of deal, right? You have to think about a summer schedule for a lot of events over a hotel, what they can accommodate in their convention centers, and who else is booking while people are out of school, while summer vacations are going on. All this, you got a small window to cram a lot. So if you can't make two things go well, sometimes I don't know if it's always about that. Screw you, mine will dominate yours. But sometimes it's like it'd be nice, but we have to do this on the same day, Billy. So Legends is he's sleeping on your couch right now. Okay, wicked. You got to go up to him and just stand in front of him like this, and while he's sleeping, just lure yourself over, and as soon as he opens his eyes, you go, "Yo, what's up, Woody? It's your good buddy here, Legend Series, waking you up with some bowls of cereal on Saturday morning with GI Club." I think we got to do that. Jay Astro is in the house. What's going on, Jay Astro, buddy? Another guy we talked about a lot out there. We missed you, bud. We missed all of you out there. I didn't quite finish up with that Leonidas thing that I wanted to talk about. The reason I only bought this one, clearly, because I was dipping my toe into a new line, and this guy's JTF2 Canadian Forces soldier at a Gimli, Manitoba, which is where my mom is from, because my grandfather was posted to Gimli, Manitoba back in the day. But this guy reminds me a lot of an infantry we lost over there. It's a master corporal. I'm not going to say his name here. I got the picture aside. It's a conversation I wanted to have with Steve Platt about Leonidas, was the inspiration from that particular master corporal that the whole Canadian Armed Forces loved and respected so much, because I feel like it kind of was. But this character, this would be my introduction to it. But great stuff, guys. Look at this. What you got there? You got a file card, and you got the whole wave release done up on the sides with a group photo of how cool they is, with like guys like Shepard and Preacher and Rooster and Kestrel, and but they also got their own way of doing what GI Joe did back in the day. I was trying to draw your eyes to this for another thing. This is 1982 again. You are on the ground floor of the first wave of the OG-13 GI Joe line. Think about this, okay? They have their toys. It's a small wave. All right. It's got the characters. It's got the wave. The back is very familiar to you, but it doesn't steal from Joe at all. It does it its way, almost like the front page of a comic. Now, when you open a comic and you want to know what's going on, you've got the action page and you've got the last time in the X-Men, or these are the characters involved page. Right? They got that going on. The character, it's got so much personality here, he's spilling it, but the fact of the matter is, all of that kit and that little pose he's doing with the dog, I'm showing you in videos on some of my videos. That's how you can do that with this character. It's got neat little things like an instruction with, if there's a complex detail with some of the kit, like his backpack has a couple of complexities to it. They find a way to describe that right here. It's called the toy features, and they let you know two things about that toy features that you need to know. Right, so you now know that the bowl, which was just sitting on its own in the package, actually clips onto the back of the backpack, and you know the dog sits up there, right? It's pretty smart packaging, but it's like I said, you're sitting at the OG-13 level right now. They have a comic book that is promoting this. All they're missing is a cartoon, right? I think they did a really good job with this line. I wish I had bought more. I will buy more, but of course, I went home. And I've been staring at this figure the whole time. There he is. I'm going to be putting up a bunch of pics on Insta and stuff like that of Leonidas. That is one sick bastard. Look at that C8, baby. My JTF2 brother. There you go. Not that I was ever JTF2, guys. I know guys in the JTF. Well, I used to know them. After they went to the JTF, we didn't stay in touch. It's weird. But look at that doggy. Look at that doggo. 3-star. I know you're driving right now, but trust me, he's got a good doggo. He's taking care of it. Look at that Fubo on the back there, and it just clips on and off. I thought that was brilliant. Yeah, I do have that autographed comic around here. Clearly, I put it somewhere safely, so I wouldn't ever find it again and destroy it, because I do so many comics. Some other comics that we got out there. Just thanks again, Daredevil Dave, for the X-Men comics #1. Dave joined us with Loki. They made the drive. He went and picked up Loki War 2. And he come bearing all these X-Men #1s. And the reason I thought that was so cool is because Aaron, the toy enhancer, had just fallen in love with X-Men 97. Most of us were liking that. It was all based on that kind of era of the X-Men. But they weren't always in the best shape. But all 5 of the covers of the one, he had bundles of them, because he was a huge X-Men collector fan, like we all were. And he was another victim of the 90s, which meant you had to buy every variant, crap like that. But he was giving them to us, and some of them were water damaged. And the reason I love that they were water damaged is because if you know Daredevil Dave, you know that he's a survivor from, like, I hate Chumbawamba, but he gets knocked down, he gets back up again, and he repeats. He's a weeble wobble, and he won't fall down. And when he falls down, we put him back up, and he's good. But Daredevil Dave lost a lot of his stuff to Katrina, a lot of memories, a lot of toys, right? So when I got a not waterlogged, but a slightly water damaged variant of my X-Men #1 in the bundle that he gave me, it was heartwarming. I feel like he was sharing that Katrina understanding, like saying, hey, there's still fucking X-Men, right? And I'm like, yeah, there's still fucking X-Men, bro. Really cool stuff. It was awesome. I'm glad you guys are all up in the chat right now. So who wants to see a cool toy? Anyone? I do. Oh, thank God for you, me. Okay, let's show them this one, boss. I will. Shut up, I am. But before I do, you guys could hit that like. You know, we are the Hammer. Oh, wait, that's the Delta 17 patch. Sorry. We are the Hammer. This was cool. Thank you, Wraith Maze, for sending these, man. That was sick as F. Yes, I'm going to show you my vamp. I got a vamp. A friend gave me a deal on the vamp. I don't want to draw a big deal to it because I hadn't really asked how they were feeling about it after, but I got myself the vamp. I got a good price on it, and it was more than fair. And but it was part of a package deal, so I got a few things from one person, even before Joe Fest was open. Right? Some things you're going to see on the show. Some things you're going to know that I'm happy about. Right? But the vamp was definitely on that list, and I already had my clutch, so I told the seller to keep their clutch. Right? But I got my helmet back, so very happy with my vamp pickup. So mission success there. What's this little lady over here? Huh. Interesting. Hey, thank you for being happy for me. You gotta love it when the military flies helicopters down the beach. Yeah. I will tell you that low flying, contour flying, everything like that is actually something helicopter pilots have to train with, but I'm quite sure they enjoy it too. But contour flying rocks, man. Map of the Earth rocks. I'm sorry. I'm sure those helicopters are annoying the piss out of those beach patrons right now. Maybe they're annoying the piss out of you. But I'm up in that helicopter going, yeah, man, bang, 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 turn up, down, kill them all. It's just such a rock star thing to be. I wanted to be a helicopter pilot when I joined the military, but color blindness stopped me. And I was like, okay, I can't even pick that trade. That sucks. Well, I loved helicopters, man. This little chica, I'm going to call her Chica, is from the Apex line. And this one I got from Aaron the Toy Enhancer. Just as I was leaving, of all things, I didn't even buy this at Joe Fest. He was getting a package together for the Claw. He wanted to give me the Claw. I said, I want you to give me the Claw. Thank you very much. And he has all these figures dangling down. And I saw Apex, and I had bought an Apex before in this one. And I thought she was very interesting. 25 points of articulation, nice sculpt. I didn't even want to do anything to her. I was really intrigued by the eyes, the worked in buff, and they were all cool 6-inch. I thought there's a story one day I'd like to know about with Apex, and I left it at that. And I think my deep six guy used a busted down Apex torso. And then I saw this one. And when I saw the name, I was like, well, of course I have to ask about this, Aaron, because you guys know how I believe Lifeline is a trade. It's a call sign. It's an identifier. It should never be used for one medic. There should be lifelines all throughout Joe's with all sorts of names, and they should be a very common thing, right? So this is called Lifeline, and I thought, okay, well now I have to have it. And it's a nice. I don't know how else to term it, but it's an interesting sculpture. I think she's Black Asian. What do they got? Her name is Nomrel. She's not from Earth, I don't think. Padma or whatever. They give you a little write up on the back of these. I thought these were very interesting, but I thought, well, if they're gonna call her Lifeline, I would agree. But I like the big bundled pants. Like those are thick with all that kit. Like she got a badonkadonk, baby. And that thing is working back there. But it works with this character. I love the vibe of this. So I started kind of thinking I want to maybe buy more Apex on the side, but I've seen some of the other things in the line I wasn't impressed with. I was more impressed with the fact that Aaron got that thing for $2.99 at Ollie's. Ollie's, Ollie's. There we go. Yeah, I was mispronouncing Ollie's all the time. But so I found another one when I came back the other day. And this one I wasn't as big of a fan of. And he kind of looks like he's Octopus Boy. Like if I were to throw him at a wall, he'd stick to it. Pacow! Right? Again, I want to find out. I got it because it was like a really good dirt cheap sale that day. You found $3.99 at Ross. There you go. So yeah, very similar deals. Aaron had two of them, so he was like, "You're taking that." And I'm like, "I am taking that. I'm going to give it to you." I'm like, "Why do you act like you have a choice? It's already down the front of my pants." He's like, "Ha ha ha." I'm like, anyway, hey man, thank you. So yeah, we got Apex coming into my collection slowly with a representation of 3. Okay, yeah, and we got the Vamp represented. I talked to you about that. And we got Delta 17 represented. Sure. Yeah. Really enjoyed that. I'm going to put that back with the package. You guys understand. You will. That's probably the only 3 3/4 kind of thing you're going to see on my shelf. But oh my God, I'm going to have fun doing dioramas and customs on that scale, right? Just to support my boy Leonidas. Because Ken Poe's the one that he understands it. Now the toy community out of Joe Fest is starting to understand it. If we don't start giving our Canadians the support and the Overwatch and Firepower top cover here between us toy conversion guys and everything, it ain't gonna come. Hasbro don't give a crap about Canada. Prove me wrong, Hasbro. Lenia, you heard me. If Lenny ever heard me. Hey, can I show you a couple 3D prints? Let's show you these. Let's do this right. Okay. Y'all remember I made that bike? Just I thought that was a really cool little bike for one of my dreadnoughts. I said for a while I had it for Roadblock because he was the biggest one. Well, I might save this for Road Pig because it probably will fit him. But yeah, dreadnought bike. But I found these guys. Ho on the aftermarket trade floor. I got 2 of these. I'll show you the other one in a second, but we'll just talk about this because as soon as I walked away from this, I walked right over. What? No, I have not. Yes, I will find Miget 20. The number is 20. Bloodhound is a troop builder. Jesus, J. Astro, thank you for putting that up. Where was I? Yes, motorcycles. So what I really liked about this, and I really hope somebody that sees this video can put it in the comments and whatnot. I really regretted they were having their dinner right by the opening of the room where everybody goes in and does afterwards trades, right? After the convention doors are closed, you can go trade figures and see some private vendors and guys are still at it, right? These were sitting right by the door. I mean, people could have kicked them. The other people were eating lunch. I forgot who the name of the company that made these, but it was a guy doing his own private 3D printing, and he had his spouse there. They were having dinner, and she was taking the Interact payments, so they were down to a last few. There was these ones, and then there was a couple of shorter stock ones, probably for a female or for a street bike kind of concept. I got two of the chopper style. What I like about them is very simple print to get in and out with the wheel. It's got good mounts, good detail on that wheel. Very simple. The rubberized effect looks great. He printed them in basic colors, but he used very tasteful colors for a bike like this, like that mustard. Loved it. Am I going to paint over it? Probably, but I'm probably going to paint mustard over it. Something to that effect. You can see the wave of the designs if I hold it at certain angles, right? What I would warn everyone, if they did get it, is when the bars curl like this, where they curl, it's hollow, and it snapped on both bikes after I had gotten it home through all the Joe Fest, cramming everything into Aaron's truck, and then packing it and putting it back to Alberta, or not Alberta, coming back to Ontario. It survived almost right till there, and then the two of the handlebars, one on each, snap. But it was the easiest fix. I was even able to tuck a wire in there, so the next time it happens, it's got that wire with that extra glue to do that. So we're gonna quickly get happening there. Okay. So sorry, yeah, we got the chat here. When I seen them, I was hoping you guys got their social links too. Yeah, I Aaron might have, and I'm not done talking about this at all because Aaron got two. As soon as I was like, "Oh, by the way, Torian answer, what's your thoughts on this?" and he shrieked and went, "Where?" And we ran, and he got the two last ones really, and we got. I even asked him. I was like, do you like my colors better than your colors? Was there a color you wanted to trade for, man? Because I don't care. I'm paying for them. He was like, no, I like my colors. Like, they were really good colors, right? Oh, what's going on, Dunique? Crown Fox Productions is here joining Legends. And probably, she's probably trying to crowd Woody out, going, come on, Woody, you're the last one up. If you're going to sleep on the couch, you got to join us in the morning and do what we do. And we do. Saturday morning, Jack Crow. Good on you. He shrieked, yeah. Let's see what's going on. I gotta see what's going on with that Triple C here. Yeah. So a little dry brushing, not Triple C with Grievance here. What motorcycle is that? I just went to go pee. Yeah. Okay. So it's a 3D print there, Tony. I'm going to show you the other one in a second. 3D printed. I wish I had the link. I'm hoping one of the other guys does it, or someone recognizes the work that this guy did it, knows he was at Joe Fest, and can say, I think it's so and so, because I'd love to talk to him more. 3D printed. And yes, did you wash your hands? Yeah, Crown Fox. Okay. All right, I think I'm caught up. Daredevil Dave. Maybe Loki knows who this guy is, or you knew who this guy was that was printing these beautiful choppers, right? But I'm going to quickly, thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm going to quickly show you some also cool features, all right? So, yeah, you can get the wheel off this spoke. You can do whatever you need. If you wanted to swap out a wheel, if you wanted to take that whole tuner assembly out, I imagine you could. Aaron could probably might figure out a way to get an actual light in there, wire this thing up, sure. But it's very open up. It's a very cool chopper with the, it's got that, sorry, I can't see. Is that a belt? I think it's a belt drive. Yeah, they're using belt drive because I think the chain link would be just a little bit too much. But great choppers. And then I love this part. All right, the kickstand. You can slide this kickstand up and down so that for whatever kind of lean on whatever kind of side you want, or you can take it right off. It's just a clip, right? So I'll show you what it looks like over there. Little peeky on the other one that's being sneaky while I slip this on. Sorry, I'm trying to do this while paying attention to you guys. It is actually simpler than I make it look. I'm just trying to be a bumbling fool there. It's on, no problem. You can slide it down. up, down, all around, either side. I'm a clown. Here we go. I'll go put it down. Come with me. No, not you. You stay here and watch the food. Saturday. I don't want the dog eating the food. Oh, shit. Whoa, that was close. Turns out the power button for my tablet is on the side. All right, so there's the bike I did. There's their bike. Right? And that's how the kickstands are working there. There you go. Who's in the background? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. This. Yeah, we got some people in the background. Who was that? Crowbot, Big Boa. Yeah, I didn't even do that at Joe Fest. But those are those bikes. And there's the other one. Let's bring that back to the table. All right. I got lots of figs to show you later. Get you back in some good lighting. Put that bike down. And then I have to grab its accessories. I don't know. Oh, no, the bike! No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, it's on the ground. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It is. It's okay. It's okay. Thank God it's okay. Can't go buy another one. I was having Joe Flat. Sorry, I'm just going back. Holy crap, that chat just dropped. Hey, wow, bam, boom. Sponsored by Powerade. Yes. I think Punk told the story on his stream. I'll tell it here in a minute. But yeah, there we go. The bike's okay, guys. Different color, different thing. You can see, like I said, very posable. Works very well with the Dreadnoks. Can work with anybody. There was a smaller one. But also, there they are, the little accessories. Accessories I was talking about. Clearly designed for the Dreadnoks in that with each bike, you got two brackets. You had a bracket that you could set right here to accommodate. Let me find if I can nicer way to hold that for you. Sorry. Yeah, we'll use it with the other hand. Watch out. So you could put on a bracket and support Buzzer or Ripper. Their weapons by just this nice little printed bracket with a single ridge that would seat nicely like here. All right. And this one was the sheath. It says Arbco saws on the side. So maybe the guy's name was Arbco. I don't know. But that can go anywhere, and that's for Buzzer, right? So little accommodations like that went a long way. You know, then you know, I was like, I'm picturing these for Dreadnoks. Oh, it's absolutely Dreadnok. I'll take two, please. You want to know what I paid for this? $15 US each. Okay, so $30. $30 well spent to get you two bikes for your Dreadnoks, right? So Aaron bought two, I bought two, and if Aaron didn't tell you about that, well, I'm a snitch ass bitch, you know. So there we go. I'm glad you guys like the bikes. I wanted to show you. All right. Yep. The Fox, yeah. I kind of need I need news from New York to tell me that you've cloned the Crown Fox and the Crow has won his own Crown Fox, because I need a Crown Fox to help me get organized and to motivate me to just, I don't know, whatever it is that she's telling you, Tony, but it makes you the host with the most. And I hear her in the background. I think she's behind that. I need a clone. It'd be easier if you told me she had a twin sister, bro, but all right. Yeah, you didn't see those choppers? You were with Loki the whole time, and the problem was they were right by the entrance, right where you would have tripped on them. Most people were looking into the room, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way, man. I was like, I know her real name, but it's so hard to spell for me because I'm hooked on Pahonics. It's just Fox, Crown Fox. And, you know, I'm sure Tony's okay if we all sit there and say, I bet you she's Foxy, right? No problems there, right? There we go. The Fox of Fox. See, you get it, right? Joe Fest flashbacks. I was having Joe Fest flashbacks, but at least it wasn't 11 minutes of that this time. Nice, Bobby. Stuart Patrick, what's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for dropping by. I knew we got a lot more people going on in the chat. We got 15 in here now. That's a nice way to start my morning. I'm just going to skip ahead because they are nice bikes, but I want to move past the bikes. I can't believe it's so hard to find decent and affordable 112 scale motorcycles. This was a great score. Okay, Jay Astro, I agree. It was. Just to show you the scale to, say, a respectable That's the kickstand again. Thank God. I keep remembering that they clip on, clip off, right? Well, we'll get him out of the way. I know I don't have a dreadnought out here right now, but just to show for scale, guys, just how well. Big Ben, right? A bigger Ben, because you know the British, they love their bike gangs and choppers. Easy Rider, I think initially, yeah, was a Shakespearean play. Anyways, there you go. Right. So Dreadnoughts, yeah, it's good. So why I brought this back up for Jay Oscar's comments is because the files are out there. You know, Mulder, the truth is out there. The files for the bike are out there. That was more like Christopher Lloyd. What the fuck? Marty. All right, yeah, so the files are out there, guys. So 15 each was not his original price. This was the last day of Joe Fest, and he really didn't have much left. He had like 6 or 7 bikes. These were with it, and I think he was just there to scale and sale, right? So I think he was probably sitting more around the 25-30 each kind of deal when he initially got out there. He could have even been higher. I have no idea. Maybe if somebody else that was at Joe Fest saw him one day or 1 or 2, and he was maybe not down on the floor where he could be tripped on, maybe they know what these were initially going at. But yeah, the guys, isn't it nice to know at least that the files are out there for those things, right? And you can achieve them. I have a bat Aaron sent me, or not sent me. I had to get it into my suitcase. I had that bat Aaron does. I haven't gotten to construct it yet, but I will, because my Cobra is, what's this? My Cobra is upside down rain spaghetti fingers. No, fire, buddy, fire. She is one of one. Son of a bitch. Okay, no, that's fine. The crow will find his own. J Astro and Son of Crown. So yeah, bikes are tough. You're using 1-to-1 tender bikes. Yeah, bikes are a tough problem to solve. There's a lot of, if you go through a lot of toy aisles, you can probably hit quite a few dirt bikes, no problem. But when you start getting into cruisers, choppers, and all that other stuff, when you get into 1/12, if a company's making them, they're not making them cheaply, right? So 3D printed. Yeah. If you guys want to screenshot that, I'll hold that up. And then on my videos to come in Insta, just like you'll see the vamp a lot more. You'll see this in the background a lot more. So and if anyone gets back to me on the guy's name that's doing these, I will make sure that we revisit the subject so you can get your own. Okay, but you will see these on Aaron the Toy Enhancers channel as well. His will be different colors, and he also had breakage that was probably easy to fix. Mine was very easy to fix. Hollow pipe. That was all the issue was. All right, we consider you showing. Yeah, you'll see where I've been. Things I was able to finish. Hi, Floyd Williams. Welcome to the show. We are 16 in the chat. That's wonderful. That's great, guys. We were able to finish Night Force while I was there. In fact, we went a couple steps beyond finishing Night Force, right? You know how I like to do my conversions for Night Force? Well, so do others. And I found something. So yeah, I finished my Night Force and I finished my Tiger Force. Really quickly, before I show you the Night Force thing that I'm talking about, with regards to Tiger Force, is that where the box is? I should use these boxes, yeah. I bought 3 Tiger Force. Only one of them came in the box. This was originally averaging price 30 to 25. When I picked this up on the second day, I believe it was priced at 25. He had plenty of Joes left, but he also had these bins of used Joes. Now, guys, conversion artists, if you haven't been to a Joe Fest, do this. Do. You'll get lots of bucks for little bucks. Lots of figure bucks, paying less bucks, right? So Tiger Force is a repaint army as I see it. I'm not an inbox collector. I am more of I want my stuff. Great. There's certain stuff I wanted the art for. I didn't care about Tiger Force. So I got my Flint box, but I bought Dusty and Bazooka in these little bags for $10 each. When I went to the guy and I said, okay, Flint and box, these two, how much? He said $30. He dropped this down to $10 to sell me a package deal. Want to know why? I'll tell you. And this was second day. This isn't third day. He could have gotten 25 for this, possibly. He probably would have been talked down to 20, right? The reason being is if you are getting over, right, working hard at getting over that anxiety, and you give yourself a cause to get over it, you will go and converse with people, and that's what they respect more than anything. They respect the people who are there and they are in it, who notice them as a person, not just their product, and they are in a conversation with them, and they're just there in the moment enjoying it. You can tell the difference. All right, what was my cause and my ambition that helped me get over it? I wanted to be crusty old crow for the first time in my life in this setting and see what happens, instead of being Sergeant Crow, Sergeant last name, whatever, Sergeant Torney. Instead of being that guy, or instead of being just Ryan, the guy, I was now a YouTube channel, and I had to represent that. I'm still all those people. I am the Crow, right? And it worked because I was passionate about this, and because I was talking and interacting with every vendor I went with, because we were all in the moment and I loved what they were showing and things like this. I was getting deals without ever asking for the deal. And I realized that afterwards it was because I watched other customers, and some of them would argue or debate or walk away or be cold, or just be so fixated on that you forget the vendor's a person there, and maybe this is a bit boring for them to constantly just be walked past, no eye contact, things like that, right? So if you go to a Joe Fest and you are hung up on it and you think this is going to serve you, you're probably not going to get as many deals. If you go to a Joe Fest or a DFW and you go out and you're like, screw it, no one's going to hurt me, I want to talk to you, I'm going to hug you, right? Everybody is going to be looking for ways to make the experience even better for you. And that is a hard fact, guys. It is a hard fact. So right on. Tiger Flint, yeah, you like that? Right on. And Bobby, I will look at those photos, absolutely, and work what I can with them, because I'm very curious. I wanted to mention this. Bobby sends me a lot of really great stuff and makes sure that I'm aware of stuff. And one of the ones he made me aware of was the Don Marino convention exclusive that they were having at Joe Fest. And if you didn't see it, it's available online. You have to look at and everything like that. And then it was essentially a repainted Akiko. This is basically what Don Marino was. And Bobby sent it to me knowing that I had made my Don Marino on my channel differently, right? And some of the guys were, I felt they were being kind, but they were saying like, I really liked yours. This one not so much, and there was something absent about it, I guess. And I just thought, like I threw a lot of my, my flaws and personalities into my customs. So I kind of went, splashed mine around. I made mine different than what Don Marino's traditionally ever looked like, but still similar. But they went with a traditional, this is Don Marino, you remember her. And they even darkened her lips and things like this. And it was a good sculpt. Somebody who liked Don Marino and needed a Don Marino figure, it was a good unique Don Marino. There was only 25 of them at the convention, right? Kiko is a good figure. It's fine, Bob, to make it out, right? 25 of them, but they asked for $140. And when I looked at the box, what they were doing was basically it's a rebranding of the box, and it's just a very nice print sticker that they've created, a Don Marino print for classified sticker, and they've laid it over the box. And I thought, that's an interesting way to go about that, right? So $140 was not a price point I was going to pay for their version of a figure, because it was really just another conversion. It's not officially a classified, these con exclusives. That's what I think the consensus was last night, was we're going to call them a con exclusive. But they're not made by Lenny and the Hasbro team and going, they're not, this is $1,000 now. It's not like that. They're just for fun. They're for the fun collector, not the financial collector, right? So $140 wasn't really a fun price as I saw it. So I didn't buy it, but I did buy two others. Want to know what they were? I'll show you. Patatitos, potato sandwich. I like the bowl of soup now. Night for Stalker, Cobra Trooper. Yeah, it's more like retro. Anyways, we'll stop that. God, I can't believe we did that one. Anyways, Night Force Stalker, guys. I'm gonna take this buff off just to show you. This is a repaint that they had. They had 3 available. How much was that at Kiko? I like that. Well, how much was that at Kiko? Well, it depends, man. If the salesman was good, $243. If it was anywhere else but Walmart, $5. Walmart, $39.99 every time, just like all the other of the Snake Eyes Origin line. Holy shit! Stop rhyming. God. Okay, that's what it looks like. Right, so they did some red paints, the kit, but if we get in, the pants are a darkened camouflage. Right, really nice. I am gonna do kind of a, I won't say it's gonna be a tactical perspective review. I've got a bunch of photos. I'm gonna do a montage with them, but that's a Night Force Stalker, boys. And so he comes with the complete Stalker loadout. Nothing changed here, except they had done that. And yeah, exactly. They did DinaCon exclusive, right? So these are the con exclusives. I got a con exclusive Night Force Stalker, all the same loadout, including the buff. And I'll show you the box because I put that aside to show you what I was talking about. So remember the art of Stalker. No change, no change. Situation, no change. Little sticker for Night Force there. So Don Marino's sticker was all across this box, right? But it was still in a Kiko box. Okay. So we had a Night Force Stalker. I was more than happy to get that one. I thought that was sick. I was like, I just finished getting the last of my Night Force. I'm building new Night Force, and hells yeah, I probably would have gotten around to trying to do something like this anyways. I just saved myself some time because they did a solid. Now, as a conversion figure, I will say, Tony Figs, if you're ever watching, or any of you guys doing conversions, right? You ask, how do you deal with the joints? The answer is a lot of guys don't. Right? They don't. Okay. I tried to deal with the joints as much as I can, but when I talked to Tony at like Tony's Figs, and I talked to I saw this, I start to realize it's okay every now and then under that joint. If you can't get to it, just do the best you can, make it work the best you can, but don't waste that buck by trying to constantly fix it to the point where you've destroyed it, ruined it, and built up a wad of product under it. So there we go. We got that. It is a nice repaint. More about the bikes, yeah. The Storm Rider, you did, eh? Okay, so you didn't like that, Dave. I was glad that you bought it because I almost did. I also planned on making Storm Rider initially to go with this because I thought, why not? It would be a good set, right? And I didn't see enough art on Storm Rider to really give me a good picture of what I wanted to do there. And then by the time I got to Joe Fest, I saw theirs. Now here's the thing, right? Stalker was 30, if I recall. Yep, 30. As was my Cobra Officer, was also 30. All right, so Storm Rider was 40, and he didn't come with the bike. I think he had $10 worth of hair going on, and that was about it. I don't know why, but it actually deterred me from buying it. And at least Daredevil Dave bought it, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, Daredevil Dave, if you didn't like, we're not real impressed. It doesn't mean that it wasn't good. It just was nothing amazing, right? Is that kind of what your adjuster is like? You bought it, so you must have thought it was good enough at 40. But maybe I think you were like me, kind of expecting glorious, rare fig, and when you realize it's a repaint going on, what they don't repaint sometimes will surprise you. But I thought these were great memories to have, man. Absolutely fantastic. Who else has these, right? Very few people. But I wanted to show you the trooper. So I'm going to go grab the trooper. He's just over here amongst all the other troopers because the officer. Or did I move him? Did I lay him out? Where did I put the officer? As I find the officer, just through my thing, I'll tell you the tone difference is different. I'm thinking of making mine my claw pilot or claw crew. Where did I stick him? This is a good time to put things down and pick things up. So I'll pick up my Cobra officer. There's one Cobra officer. So this is the original Cobra officer as we got him. And yeah, I had to put him somewhere sensible because I know I was going to speak to him. So just give me a second. There he is, sitting off with those other crazy Valas. Oh, yeah, I bought some Valas. So why am I showing you all this, guys? To show you, you know, my suitcase was so full. I thought I was going to have to hoop some stuff. And I realized I packed in the wrong order. And I thought I might have to hoop a flight pod. And I was like, oh, God. I need a lot of KY. But turns out, no. All it was I just had to take care of repacking, and I was good. But a lot of stuff. But here's the Cobra officer that they have, and it's more darker when compared, right? So I already know because I've seen people screaming and yelling about the Cobra Retro. I'm buying $1 million. I'm buying none. I resent them. It's whatever. If you don't like the Retro, then you're probably not going to like this because same issues you have with the Retro is what's going on here. It's an off color, but it's an officer, so I only need one, right? One for every 10, one for every 30 if I want. Maybe he's a major. I don't know. Officers have rank too. Maybe he's a captain, maybe he's a major, maybe he's a goddamn colonel, although I doubt it because he shouldn't even be in this uniform if he's a colonel. But my point being is you only need one. Maybe he's a specialist. Maybe he's a sniper. Whoa! Maybe he's a claw pilot. Maybe he is a gunner for a new vehicle of some sort. I have no idea. But I'm saying this to put an ease about the Retro thing, guys. If you're one of the guys in the camp that, well, that sucks that they're the wrong color. No, I got to buy a whole bunch. No. If you only buy one, that guy's a unique specialist, right? He would fit your troops the same way a Techno Viper would fit in with your troops. It's like an at. He's attached to the section. Maybe, like I said, he's a sniper. Maybe he's a radioman. Maybe he's a heavy weapons specialist, a mortarman. Maybe he's an engineer, EOD. Maybe he is a translator. Maybe whatever you want. Like, to be upset about the tonal differences and the shades of these sculpts can be easily managed by understanding that's not far off how military uniforms often work, right? Fang pilot, Bobby, Fang pilot, Bobby. Shane says Fang pilot, Bobby. Bobby, look what I found, Bobby. Bobby, look what I found, Bobby. Weren't we talking about this one? Yeah. So Aaron's working on the devilfish. I finally found the right Fang and lots of spare parts due to the other two I thought were going to be able to be used. But between the 3 choppers I have, I'm going to try and build you a Fang like none other. And maybe he'll be the pilot of it. Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe he'll be the pilot of it. So I didn't want to ignore the chat here. Yeah, okay. Storm Rider Dave says, yeah, Dave says all right. I nailed it. Yeah. All right. Before I show you some more figures, I'm going to close out the loop on this one on the Cobra officer to tell you. You know what was interesting is when I opened this up, I realized this ain't the gun that's coming with the Retro one. This was some other weapon, I'm convinced, just because it is a very different system. And if I'm wrong, and this is what comes with the Retro one, watch out, okay? Because we have a very, hang on a second, I need a sound effect. Pulling out. Very sensitive pin. Great detail, but again, very sensitive pin system. So the slightest mispull, I'm worried they're going to pull off, right? And No flex in this. This is as hard as morning wood, boys. This ain't no Hasbro rifle. I was curious where this came from, but it doesn't fit well into this guy's hands. So clearly replaced. And no, I don't think I'll utilize you as a sniper at all. Doesn't seem like you've got the chops. But I liked your color and convention exclusive. I kind of like that. Yeah, color variations. Come on, man. Color variations. Open up your mind, man. I don't know. I know why it bothers some. It doesn't bother all. Oh, geez. I don't mind color variations at all because I just sometimes have to shift perspective. Now, sometimes there's times where I struggle with a color. I really struggle with Techno Vipers and their color. And by the way, if anyone actually thinks that I won that Techno Viper on Aaron the Toy Enhancer's channel the other day, God, no. I wasn't his moderator yet. I was just caught up in playing the game, and I want to pride. But we talked afterwards. I'm like, I can't take that word. Aaron's on top of it. Don't worry. Crow didn't get another one of Grimace. I didn't even like the Techno Viper. Come on. Well, I like him fine, but he was my favorite. But yeah, I have a hard time with the color silver, purple, whatever color set. Here's one I haven't opened yet. This just came to GameStop the other day on the pre-orders. Anybody order these? Did anybody not want these? I only wanted the one to offset the other. I don't really care about eels. Any eel fans out there? I am trying to find something very specific right now. Yeah, it is a perfect thing, but oh, hello, Lorograms. What you saying here? Love the Joy Toy 1/18 scale modular dioramas, especially the medical bay. Wish I had them back in the day in my O-ring child. That'd be great. Scroll up class by. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. We never even talked about all those displays and accessories. Like some of the diorama supporters that are out there are phenomenal. You could walk around Joe Fest and never spend a dime. You could just be looking and staring at stuff and be, holy crap, Hit me up about the eel. Oh, no, dude. I got only the one that I wanted. What I was asking was anybody really, sorry, that's how you worded it. Anybody troop building these and why? Like, I don't care about the eels. I wanted the one, like, to go with my set. But I was just saying the pre-orders came in today and it was the only one that came in. I wanted my beachhead. I wanted my snow serpent. I get my eel. That is sorry. I didn't mean to mislead to say that I was going to be available, guys. So and I see this comment. The beachhead showed up for Son of Soprano Slayer. D-Mac, all right. And California, they're coming in late, right? Yeah. Okay. Hey, man. I'm sorry. I wish mine was the latest of the bunch, but I've got somebody backstage. Hang on a second. Oh, there he is. And there he is. How long have I been staring at this guy? That's what happens, eh? How long were you there, bro?
Oh, about 10 minutes.
Oh, I apologize.
That's all right. I was like, maybe he doesn't want guests this morning. Just
no, I always want guests. I don't care, man. It's all good. I just sometimes forget to look at the screen. In fact, I've got some guests lined up. Well, a guest I'm lining up right now, but I'm trying to get more. I feel like there's some other guys I'd like to ask, but I was so happy to get you on, but I thought you were out with your papa today.
I was. We got up really early for a Saturday, and because it's so hot down here, and my dad can't. He's got COPD, so anything we do, he wanted to do it early before he got hot and humid. So he come and picked me up, and we were gone by 8, and we had to go down and work on my well at my camper. Because I was planning on going to my camper 4th of July, but I have no water. So he loaded up a bunch of tools and a tester, and we got down there. And as soon as we hooked it up and turned it on, I had water.
Okay.
So we pretty much turn around and come right back.
Do you have to run any water tests to see if it's still potable or?
Oh no, it's good. I had it. I mean, I just haven't used it much this year. I used it all last year. It's fine. I don't use it for drinking water. It's just for
Oh,
rinsing
okay.
and
You'd be
showering.
boiling anyway. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we take drinking water, but it's so I was listening on the way back. He actually drove, but I was talking to him and I had an earbud in listening to the show. I just couldn't chat very much.
Yeah,
So we just got back and I'm like, well, I'm gonna hop on and listen to the rest of Crow before I go on and do whatever else I'm doing today. I did have him make one stop on the way back. I went to the comic shop and finally picked
oh, yeah. I'm still trying to find a comic shop to replace the one we lost out here, but Destro #1, I saw the read. What'd you think of it?
I hadn't read it. I just got it on the way back.
Oh, well, you should definitely give it a read. I've had the read of it, like, read to me. I think it was, was it Comics Explained or Billy in Action did one.
Yeah.
And I like this one. This one's got a good snap to it. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. They've all been really good. So I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. You can go back to talking about the customs, but I will say that damn Don Moreno was not worth $140.
No, and thank you. Yeah, we should get back to Don Moreno for a second because yeah, I did mean to make that point as well. On the third day, when the Joe Lords deem that everything shall go on sale and your percentage should be ridiculous, 75 or more. Everybody was selling their stuff for like half off. Some even went 75, right? And so what you were paying 40 for, you're now going to get for probably 25, maybe even as low as 15. Last day, that's the average. Don Marino dropped to $120 and went nowhere. But she did. I like, guys, and I bring it up because I thought that was a ridiculous drop. I don't know if she dropped any more, but to just drop 20 and you were only holding 5 left, I would have gotten those out. You know,
The mugs would have been $75. Take them.
You know, or go to another booth and say, if you sell $500 worth of stuff, you get a free Don Marino. You know, like whatever, right? It was just this reluctance to devalue it for any reason. I thought I was like, that lacks the humility it deserves in a moment like this. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like.
Well, just because it's limited and it is an exclusive to that show, don't mean that it's good and it's worth the price.
And that's just it. The price is only what you put on it, right? Like
that's worth the price.
There you go. Yeah, that is another of the fine Delta 17 for which I just haven't managed to get my video done. You know what I was trying to do for a video for them? Okay. I had that. I have the autographed comic. I have the Leonidas. I opened my Leonidas. I took a bunch of photos, and I was like, after talking to Ken and Retro J and the others, there's yours. Yeah, I just had mine out because I wanted to show it on the show, but I think I set it under something. But I decided I wanted to do kind of like an honest review of the comic and of the figure together. And when I say honest review, it's like honest because I've met the guys. You know what I mean? And in meeting the guys, I know that they could look at who's talking right now and go, that fucker, he would have said that to my face if he felt that way. Well, like, you know what I mean? Right. And I will. You know, like, and that's just it. But there's so much good in that comic. But what I was trying to tell the guys in the chat here, Darren, or sorry, 3 Straw, is that this is 1982 again, and we're right there.
I heard that part. You're right. There's where I had them sign mine.
Yeah, and on my signatures are in a similar place. And that got me thinking. I was like, yeah, we are at the beginning of another 3 3/4 inch toy line, which is using the Joe strategy, but they're doing this in their own way. And as this thing grows, those convention exclusives and those comics are just going to be something I think guys like you and I are going to look back on and be like, we killed it. You know, 82 caught us off guard because we were friggin' 6, but we got it this time, right? Like,
yep. Making up for that, for not being born sooner.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm gonna sit there and open the comic and go, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. This is like a million times better than Avengers and X-Men if they ate Superman, right? What I'm talking about is I've read the comic. I understand what all is at play when we write a story like this. I like the way they go through it, and I could talk to that. But the little thing that I picked up on there is just there's some tropes of comic writer will fall into that they fall into every time. Darren, did you read it or no? Sorry.
I have not had a chance to read it yet. I've been went back to work on Wednesday, and I was trying to get everything unpacked and get pictures and try to get my recap video done. And I have not had a chance to sit down and read it. I plan on reading both of them, Destro and the Delta 17, tonight.
Okay. Yeah, so I read it and reread it a couple of times just to see if I was picking up on what I needed to pick up. And I was like, you know what we need? We need issue 2, 3 right away, because we're in the midst of an opening story, and you can only do so much character development in one comic with a line of special forces operatives and a troop build army, right? So right away I thought, I need a second issue, I need a third issue. Of course, I'll order those. But the switch in languages. When you read X-Men back in the day, you read it through the eyes of a guy named Chris Claremont, probably. He was the guy that wrote the X-Men, and he always used to say the same thing over and over and over again, every comic about every character. He would make mention to Wolverine. He's the best at what he does, and what he does wasn't very nice. And then next issue, I'm Wolverine. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice.
I'm the best, bub.
Yeah, repetitively. Every character had their thing repeated every issue. And it was overdone because comic writers didn't think you were going to collect. You thought you'd only buy one issue and get a glimpse. And they wanted you to know this every issue. That kind of repetition became redundant. There's a redundancy in this comic about speaking Russian, and I'm going to leave it at that. There's a point where I think the mistake is the 80s trope told them to write it this way, and you're going to scream at one point, okay, I get it. We're speaking Russian here. That's it. I'll leave it at that. Let's go back to the chat. Yes. Is that on right now? Are you wearing that?
Got it hanging underneath Grumpy Bear.
Grumpy Bear. Oh, I love that thing, man.
Grumpy Bear is now a weapons dealer.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. When you bought that, I'm not going to lie, much jelly was going on.
To answer her question, this is where I got it. Roma Collectibles. They only had 5 or 6, he told me, at the entire show, and I didn't realize it. Now, Seth Green was there, and he had a panel, and they've got a new show coming out, and he was there to promote that. Well, I didn't realize. I never saw Seth Green.
Yeah,
he bought one of these, and he was wearing it around Saturday before I even knew. I never saw him before I even knew. And I went back to get mine, and I got mine, and I was like, this thing's awesome, but it was heavy in the bag. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking wear it. So I got it out and put it on, and everybody loved it. And some people were like, yes, Seth Green had one of those on. I'm like, I know everybody thinks I'm copying Seth Green. But I didn't even know he had one until people told me. So I wore mine around, and everybody thought it was just funny. That's what I was, just being funny wearing it. It looks cool. I actually went back Sunday, and I was going to buy the rest of them. When I bought mine, he had 2 left or 3 left. He only brought 5 or 6 to the show. So I got one, Seth Green got one, and 1 or 2 other random people got one. I went back to buy the rest of them because I was gonna use it as a giveaway at some point. And honestly, I was actually gonna send one to Woody.
Oh, good idea.
And then use the other one as a giveaway, but they were gone Sunday. As soon as I went over there Sunday, they were gone. I went 2 places. As soon as I went in Sunday, I went to check on something that I was seeing if the price dropped on, and I went to go get these, and they were gone. But Roma Collectibles, they're online. So he told me he stocks them, so you may be able to find it and get it online.
And yeah, sorry. And what was the price? If you mind me asking again, what was the price you paid on that? Because I feel like I never paid attention to that.
It was $15.
Son of a bitch! I don't think I absorbed that, or else I would have gone back with you and gotten it, because just the response Three Star got from everybody at the bar that night, wearing this pimp ass Destro chain. Um, it was definitely. I think we could picture why it sold. I wish they had
Oh
brought
yeah.
it to, but the envy was there. It was a very unique item to come back from Joe Fest with. Like, anybody can grab
Oh
a
yeah.
voice. It's coming
Yeah.
back with something different, right?
And it
Uh,
made me feel better knowing he told me he only brought like 5 or 6 of them. He said last year he had them and they didn't really sell all that well, but he did sell out. But they didn't sell till the third day. He told me, but yeah, I mean it was the comments and stuff that I got. Mega J even like
yeah.
stopped me and said something about it. So
So I'm gonna say it right here on a live. If you ever go to a Joe Fest, and especially if you're a struggling and rising content creator, such as a certain pro, wear your glasses when you meet people, because my shoe tastes exactly like Marriott Floor. I'll tell you right now. I know that because my in my mouth. Um, Retro J, Filipino, is the nationality, I believe, that is his family heritage. I didn't have my glasses on, and when he came in, I think I introduced. I was like, "Oh, it's really nice to see some First Nations here." I was just more focused on seeing Canadians, and I think the woman behind him had a dream catcher tattoo on her arm, and I didn't have my glasses on, so it's all a haze. And I had to hand it to Jay. I think he really said it. He was like, "Well, it's Filipino, but that's okay. Hey, man, I'm Jay. How you doing?" Oh shit! So bring your glasses. Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Did you ever have a moment at Joe Fest where you met somebody and it was like you got them mixed up or anything like that? Because I found that was happening.
I didn't get anybody mixed up. There were people I met so many people that I knew them by name and not by face that I got them mixed up and forgot who they were. So when I saw them later, I didn't call them by their name. And there were 2 people that I met that for whatever reason I did not immediately recognize who they were, and kind of said or did something kind of stupid, and then I was like, "Oh, that's who that was." And
Yeah.
one of them was highly articulated at the AWOC booth,
Yeah.
and I know who he is. I've been on a stream with him. I've been on. He was on Punk one night, and I recognized him, but I for some reason it did not connect who he was, and he was the one that I was trying to solicit all kind of advice from on which should be my first AWOC figure. And I've listened to this dude talk about AWOC for probably 6 hours of my life. I just didn't connect. And finally, I know he was just like, just pick one. He's like, I'm glad you're buying something. Just pick one. He's like, all of this style has the same articulation. You don't really know the story. So pick whichever one you think is cool. That's the way most people are doing it.
Well,
So that was one.
that makes absolute sense because the way the AWOC design was, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, AWOC, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, it's a line hybrid, I would call them hybrid humanoids. They're part very common animal, part warrior, as you see. And there's an entire lineage and plot line going on there that runs deep. So they had their first and second waves out, and I watched over the first, and I really wanted ones from the second, but the first was a very confusing wave to pick one out of. The way these guys handle their troop builds, it's you get the buck, but then and it's got a very common head, but you can buy accessory packs and head packs to make your troops all very different. It's something Vala's been doing well. It's something that these guys are starting at the gate with. Picture buying your cheap buck, but having 3 choices every time, right? Um, the reason I didn't buy it, yes, is because and this is something I wanted to speak to about Cobra Crimson Commander's 6-inch versus 3/4 line talk as well. I have a hard time if I don't identify with the toy necessarily on some basic level. So, for example, I could never get into aliens or predators if there wasn't a human victim involved, right? Like you had to have a human. Something on the shelf had to tie my world into this fantasy, and that's what I found absence with. And I'm glad it was absent in Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I was waiting for your Donnie Wahlberg Planet of the Apes character. Like, I'm the last human here. They're all here. And it wasn't there. And I think if I had that, I probably would have bought that and an Animal Warrior. But without it, I didn't buy any. And I was kicking myself. What are we
I'm
showing you? I'm
not.
going to give you a full screen.
Shane asked how the ankle joints are. They're really good. I mean, they're just, you can see the indention on my finger, like moving them like they're really good. You can get this dude into some really good poses. And this was one reason I wanted to pick up an AWOC figure, was because everybody says you should have at least one AWOC to feel how solid they are and the articulation. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm here, they're in front of me. I'm one of these kind of people that I need it in front of me if it's something that I don't know much about. That was also kind of why I waited on Delta 17. I wanted to back it and I wanted to support it, but I'm also going to open them and play with them. And I wanted to see how they were made. Same thing with AWOC, because I am not a big anthropomorphic, really kind of guy.
Yeah.
They're cool. But I've never really been real big into anthropomorphic stuff. CCC says they remind him of the TMNT line.
That's
Same
right.
here. They do me too a little bit, with, making characters like animals anthropomorphic. So I wanted to see them in person because it's not really something that I'm into. But again, I wanted to experience the figure and I wanted to support a smaller company. These figures are fantastic. This dude was, trying to remember how much he was. He was like $28 or $32. This is not the base one. This is the next one where they do come with some weapons, and then they had another tier that's more than this one. But he was worth what I paid for him all day long. I mean, this is ratchet.
The issue was not price, right? Like,
oh yeah,
these guys didn't mind hemorrhaging a little bit of money. They left all these like nice molded things like the ones I'm sending Wraith Maze. They had a contest. If there was a red dot on it, you go and you get a free fig. But the fig price points weren't any different than what you experience in a classified line, right? You had your 30 point, you had your 40 point, and then you had your up from that as they got bigger and more intricate, right? Like, I think the troop builds started at 35 or 30 with a head pack or something like that. They had these deals, right? So we'll just get caught up in the chat. Wraith Maze wants to know if it compares to a Marvel Legends, like
Mythic Legion.
Heavier.
The Mythic Legion, I think.
Oh, Mythic Legion. Sorry, Marvel.
Yeah, I make that. I do that too. So does Pop Blender. Every time I see ML, I immediately go to Marvel Legends.
No, it makes more sense the other way.
Compared to a Legend, the articulation is much smoother and there's more of it. You can definitely get it into some much better poses, and the sculpting is there. I mean, they are more cartoony looking. They don't look as realistic, but as far as feeling wise, you feel like if you stress a Mythic Legion to a certain point, you're going to break something, and you have to heat them up, a lot. The one, in my experience, you don't have to do that with these. They are much more flexible out of the box, and they have more articulation than a Legion. Of course, you're sacrificing realism and paint, but they do have some very nice sculpt work on them. Is it Legion's level? Is it Legion's league? No, but it's very good.
And I'd say that's a very difficult to come by too. That would be taking away from what they did do with this line. It's just like two different comic artists at play, right?
Yeah.
Both amazing for different reasons.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
No. Yeah, so lots of different critters, and the second line had even more compulsion. You started getting into things like cheetahs and lynxes and the rabbit, which which I agree. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference. The rabbit is the one that reminded me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2, the Usagi Yojimbo. They have their version of that as well. But to also talk about Crimson Cobra Commander's point really quickly about the if it was done in 6-inch, I would have bought Delta 17, but it wasn't, so I won't. That's kind of where I sat with a lot of 3 3/4 stuff that I was seeing. I was coming in as a GI Joe classified and 6-inch scale candy kind of guy, right? Like most of you would be walking in there. What I would say though is start paying attention to the streams and the guests of the guys who are streaming before a Joe Fest or a DFW or whatever con you're going to. Pay attention to who's going to be at these and what the product is they're bringing. I looked into Delta 17 a little while before I was going to Joe Fest. There was an interest. There was a military aspect to it I really identified with, right? Darren, how long had you been hearing about, sorry, 3-star, I got to stop being so personable when we're live. Before you went to Joe Fest, how many weeks in advance would you say you saw? How many lines were you investigating? That kind of thought, you know?
Yeah, Delta 17, AWOC, Savage Crucible, everything Ramen Toys is doing. The chicken fried toys that Pop Blender bought, because I looked at those last year at the show I went to in Kentucky. They had a booth there for that. So I mean, there were a bunch. And then being the deeper that I've gotten into YouTube and the more people that I've met and listened to, and like you said, they're guests on their shows that are promoting certain stuff because they're involved, you kind of just, you get stuff on your radar and you're like, well, I want to know more about that. That's where I was with the AWOC and the Delta 17. Like, I knew about it. I just wanted to see it. So I went down there wanting to look at several things to finally see it in person because I heard so much about it. But those were the big two, or the big three for me, was Delta 17, AWOC, and then Ramen.
Right. And it's the same with me. Like the key guys were there. And I guess the point I was trying to make, and you spoke to it, was like some of them, they were starting to show up on live streams, like the guys from Fist, for example. If you were out to find out about Fist, maybe it was because you saw them on its chat like I did. And so
I'll be right back. I got to run my dog out real quick.
No problems, brother. We'll go slow on that. So I wanted to look into Fist because I had watched a stream on its chat about Fist. And I was like, hey, that's a father-son duo, and they're so popular right now. But this one is about making a toy, not tearing it down. So I want to go see it. And I talked to them and everything. I didn't walk away with Fist, right? Because I wanted to confirm something, and it was confirmed. It was a limited first wave. I didn't like some of the paint apps, and the shoulder joints bothered me, but they sold, and those guys got to speak to their product. So that to me is a win for everybody, whether I liked it or not. Somebody liked it, right? So when I buy figs for stories and properties I'm into already, I agree. Don't buy for just to buy a toy. We're all different. That's right. What you're hearing with the Mythic Legions, the Cosmic Legions, Savage Crucible, and AWOC, I haven't bought any of those either. I've heard the hype. I went and I saw the hype. I've held the figure. I understand now, and I know why these guys get hooked quick. It just didn't draw me in because of exactly what Jay Astro is saying. It's the stories and the properties I'm already kind of focusing on that I wanted to do, right? Let's get caught up. So yeah, Aaron just stretching it out. He's got that. Boy, I've been to Aaron's house, and it's easy to get lost. I know which room he's in when he's streaming, but trying to find him anywhere else, he'll pop up. He could be in a rafter. You never know. That house is it's a glorious place. I loved being at your house, Aaron. Thank you for having us there. I'm just really trying there. Okay. He chimed in on the AWOC. Hopefully you guys have been reading what Aaron's been saying about the AWOC as well. And do tune in to Aaron's channel when you see he's doing fig reviews on AWOC, because he picked up some of the very limited edition AWOC as well. Like low print runs. There is an AWOC that had to come home with Aaron because it was modeled after Beastmaster from Motu. So of course, Aaron's gonna show that to you on his channel. But the head sculpts was a great thing to do. One line that I was very interested in, guys, is sorry, I'm just catching up here. And Bobby, I'm going to talk about your photos in a second as well. Don't be scared to buy one of those figures, baby steps. Yeah, towards the line, like I did with the Delta 17 and everything like that. Patriot Force is one I'm very excited about, but wasn't prepped to. I was hoping they would be available for sale. They were not. I went there kind of going, I want to know more about Patriot Force. This is the one that is modeled off of real life soldiers on the classified scale. And you just know they're going to fit as organically to that line as Valaverse does, right? But I did pick up some Vala figs. I am on the Vala train. I like that. I like. Me like Crow, like Vala. Don't give shit, Bobby Vala not likable to some. Bobby Vala likable to Crow. This is easier. Saving time on language. Killing time for 3-star anyways. But yeah, baby steps. And I prefer the 6-inch too. You want to know what changed my thinking on 6-inch, buddy? I'll tell you this right now. So I got this lone Leonidas figure, and I've got some little things that I picked up at thrift stores. Here's one right here. I thought about sending this there in the toy enhancer, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because he's just got so much on the go. It would just sit, and I thought I want to try doing some customization from 3 3/4 scale stuff. So now I have some Cobras that Aaron sent me. God love you. But I also have a Delta 17. And I'm going to start doing some customizations and dioramas on a 3 3/4, which will fit on a very much smaller shelf. And it's just something to exercise my creative muscles with. That's all it is, right? I can get into it as much as I want to, or I can jump in. And there's Down South.
Yeah, he's still making me pay for leaving him all weekend last weekend. He wants to go out every 10 minutes. I don't know where you got to with what you were talking about, but while I was outside, one other thing regarding the last thing that I said, I completely somehow forgot to mention Fresh Monkey Fiction with Monster Force. That was the absolute main thing that I wanted to see in person, and somehow I forgot to mention it.
Well, and you've got a couple of those on hand as well, right? So, yeah, we're just getting caught up on just some of the other lines and why we got them. Like, and I will speak a little bit. I'll show some of the Action Force guys that I got. But Bobby, we'll talk when I show my Action Force. We're going to talk about what you sent me because I had seen that feed right before we went on as well. But yeah, I want to see some of these Monster Force, and I want you to speak to it a little bit because you kind of got me blindsided that morning. We went to that booth and it was like, here's what we need to do. And I was like, still high on my chuckles. I was like, brother, you could, what's that? You need me to donate 22 liters of blood and we're going to go buy. Yes, we will do that now. Right. But why don't you tell them what we did?
So that story goes, when I got down there Friday night, Pop Blender and I had snafus getting there. So I got to the floor late. It was only open for 2 hours, and the Monster Force exclusives were sold out by the time I found their booth. Because that is one thing I wish they give you was a map with the booth layouts. I know some of it may change a little bit, last minute cancellations or moves or whatever, but it would still be mostly accurate. Actually, so I could not.
They did. Did you know that was on the back of those VIP passes we didn't buy, the ones they hung off their necks? That was on the map. Yeah, it was on that.
No, because I was not going to, as bad as I wanted that VIP pass, I wasn't going to spend $15 to upgrade to it. Although I do know where the booth was where you could get it for free if you had the bracelet, but I knew what the booth was, but I never saw it. So yeah, I don't know what the guy looks like. I only know him from online. He's involved in it.
Yeah. Aaron told me about the pass thing on the last day. Like, well, of course now.
You know, if I had known that, I might have done it. Yeah, because I really wanted a lanyard, but for souvenir as well. But either way, so when I got down there Friday, they were sold out because they have an allotment for the day on the exclusives. Fresh Monkey did. So as soon as we all got down there on Saturday and met up, because we all went down there at like 9. And I knew where the booth was. I was making a beeline for that booth, and I was intending on Pop Blender being with me, but he went a different direction. And Crow was like, "Oh, I'll go over there with you." So what I wanted to do was I wanted to pick up a couple extra sets of the Monster Force exclusive, but you could only get one set per person per day. And I was afraid they were going to sell out. And so Crow was with me, and I was like, "All right, here's what we're going to do. I need you to grab me a set of these and I'll pay you back." He was like, "Oh, okay, sure." I was like, "Well, I was gonna get Pop to do it, but I don't know where he is, and I don't want him to sell out. So I'm gonna get mine, and then if you'll grab a set, and I'll pay you back." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that." So
Meanwhile, I had a chuckles in my pocket going, yeah, right.
I blindsided him with that, and so we did that. And of course, they were Crow had a card, and I was like, "Well, damn, I didn't mean to make you have to use your card." So he picked them up, and I'm trying to hand him money back, and he's going, "Oh no, you just sent me a Chuckles. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "Well, Chuckles wasn't $80 because
yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was there.
Yeah, I didn't even. I saw one there, but I didn't look to see how much he was
saw that
selling
after
for.
you said that. I was like, wait a minute. Yes, he is $80, Darren.
Yeah, well, I didn't see a price on him. I think I saw 2 booths that had him.
Yeah, not much.
So Crow hooked me up, and I'm like, "All right, I'll give this back to you." Well, then I went with Crow because he was hunting for Major Blood, and he needed that was one of his items on his list that he hadn't been able to acquire yet was Major Blood. So he said, "I think there's one over here. Let's go. Let's look at this booth. They got a lot of figures." Well, we found Major Blood. I said, "Well, all right, let me give you the money back." No, he wouldn't take it. So he got ready to buy Major Blood. He and the guy reached the price, and Crow's like sitting there and hands the guy part of the money. And it's like, "All right, well, because you got something else with him too, didn't you?"
Yeah, and I can't remember, but you greased through your way in and slid money out. I was like, "You son of a bitch."
So whatever it was that Crow bought with Major Blood come out to is either like $55 or $75, and Crow handed him part of the money and was still trying to dig out like the other 50, I think. And so Crow was trying to get the rest of his money out, and I just whipped my wallet out, pulled out a 50 and handed to the dude and said, "Here you go." And Crow looked at me and was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." I said, now we're even.
and it never really feels that way. Thanks, man. Yeah, see, so we did get Major Blood. That was down south helping me track that down too. Like I don't know, it was like 2 hounds. Like, I know that fox is somewhere. We're gonna find it. And the 2 of us were just like, "He's got to be over here," right? Like, just Monster Force is over here. Blood's over here. I smell them both. Let's go. We had a great time, and I was willing to let it go. I was like, son of a bitch, fucking. I tried to do Monster Force. He does that with the cash. I'm like, let it go. Just let it go. This is what it's about. Like, you're never gonna stop if you don't let it go. And then now we're back at it again because he's got something else I want to get off him. But we're not going to talk about that today. But I was like, we can never let this go. This is never getting let go.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to bring that up or not. We can save that for later.
Yeah, right. Not bringing it up because I was just like, that's all organic. But I was just like, just when you think you've done your last deal with someone and you reside with the thing is the other person's got something else that they're just like, "I want to help you." And you're like, "Oh, you're so nice. Stop this." Right?
Well, Crow did not seem to understand that Chuckles was a gift.
I know.
And there's no repayment needed.
Yeah. I've explained to Aaron and Darren about this, how, I'm a super awkward person. And because of if anyone else out there was raised in a diehard Roman Catholic family, you might get it a little bit about the self-loathing Roman Catholic that can never show enough appreciation and all that crap. So if I ever get awkward over something like that, boys, that's all it is. It's raw appreciation. But at Joe Fest, the amount of perpetual kindness that was going around between guys was borderline. It was like every day was Christmas and every person was Santa. Sometimes it felt like
yeah. And Toy Enhancer got me again.
Yeah.
That night we were walking by the trade tables, and think I talked about this on maybe my stream with Pop Blender, but we were walking through the trade area one night, and we're looking at all the stuff set up, and we were trying to get somewhere. I don't remember, we were going to eat, we were going somewhere, and people were just laying stuff out on the tables, and we were all walking by, and we stopped and we're looking at a table because they had a bunch of classified and they had a bunch of real Ghostbuster stuff, the modern stuff. And I was like, man, we got to keep moving, because if we stop and look at these tables, we're never going to make it, because they were just setting up. And we were looking at the Ghostbuster stuff, and they had a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I was like, oh, look at the Marshmallow Man. And they also had a sign on that side of the table that said, this side 50% off. I was like, man, I got to get a Marshmallow Man. And I was like, all right,
right? That was in your head, you were doing that.
Yeah. And no, I said it. I was like, I need to get one of those marshmallow dudes, but I wasn't going to buy it right there. So it's like, all right, man, let's keep moving. And Aaron goes, well, you know what? I'm going to buy it. He's like, I want one too. He's like, I think I'm going to buy it. So it was like half off, whatever it was marked. I think it was like 10 or 12 bucks after the discount. So Aaron whips out his wallet. He's like, I'm going to get this Marshmallow Man. So he pays them, and we start walking off. And I was like, I almost bought that thing. And Aaron reaches over and goes, wow, and hits me in the chest with it and goes, that's for you, buddy. I picked that up for you. Like, that's the only reason I bought it.
He
Like,
was
damn
so
it, man.
proud of that joke too. He was so proud he got you going. I wish a photo had been taken of your face when he bought it and took it away, because he makes it sound like you were like this little disappointed kid at Christmas, like, oh, it's my brother's stocking. Oh.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was real close to buying it, but I was like, I'll probably see it again here. We need to get wherever we're going. And he was like, no, he's like, I'm gonna buy it. And then we walk off, and I really did. I said, I was like, I almost bought that Marshmallow Man. And he goes, here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
The dude that just gifted me a 00 Snake Eyes, and he's buying me a Marshmallow Man too. So Tori Enhancer is a really good dude, y'all.
Yeah, and guys, it's I want to clarify just really quickly about this so it doesn't sound the wrong way. So we'll exit that. First off, I don't know what you mean. I'm the skinniest guy you've ever seen. I'm pretty cut. Sorry, that's just Valas. I got Valas up in here. No, the prices on things, okay? Why that generosity is perpetual. It's not guys waving cash around like, I got you because I'm rich and you're nothing like that. And really, it's not like guys are like, I've got wads of cash on me to just throw in the air and do this. What it is you start seeing some of the best prices you're probably going to see items at for that one day. And you realize it's a game changer to another person, or it's it's going to go really well with something they had in mind because you've been talking to them all weekend and you're like, oh, I know what to do. It's that kind of thing. It's all meant in this perpetual kind interest. This is why people get so upset when a toxic entity starts coming in and starts talking about dividing the community, being cast out of it, being whatever, being used by it or abused by it. It's because we're all sitting there going, what the hell are you talking about? All we want to do is hang out and shake your hand. This is the kind of stuff that leaves us bewildered, because you see this on the floor. You see guys handing off each other going, I just made your day. And the other guy's barely holding back tears going, fuck you, I'll get you for this.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He was like, you like Ghostbusters, you bought the Ecto one, you've got some of the figures. He's like, and you don't have a Marshmallow Man, so I want you to have a Marshmallow Man. It don't matter. It could have been $10 or it could have been $100. He was just, it don't matter. He was giving me something that he wanted me to have because I didn't have it, just out of kindness. It wasn't like he was going, oh yeah, give me all the Marshmallow Man. No, he knew it was something I wanted and didn't have.
And it's the truth in this community, whether you got a channel or you're just somebody in the comments, you're gonna get the attention you ask for, right? Whether you've asked for attention or not. If you've dealt with everybody with kindness and respect, you're gonna get that back tenfold. If you want to be left alone, you're going to get left alone. It's all of this. But if you're like me, Darren, it's still the hardest thing in your life to get used to sometimes, because you're like, it's actually as advertised. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
like, no, there's got to be another shoe that drops at some point. No one drops it, right? I'm just getting caught up on that chat there. So we have, what do we have in the chat? We have 18 in the chat, guys. That's really great that you guys were able to spend that time. And I see a lot of guys acknowledging the Aaron stuff in the chat. Yes, Daredevil Dave was with us at Aaron the Toy Hansers with Loki Wartooth. Daredevil drove from, I believe it was Kentucky. Was it Kentucky to Louisiana or something like that? Or wasn't Tennessee? You're in Tennessee.
Mississippi to Louisiana.
There we go. Mississippi to Louisiana, like 3 hours, picked them up and then beetled it off. Punk with Toys was already at Aaron's place when Aaron went and picked me up from the airport. He was alone there for a few hours. And then within 1 hour of me and Aaron getting back from the airport saying hi to Punk, we had everybody there. Within 24 hours of that, we had 3-star, we had Pop, we had everything we ever asked for, right? So I hope you guys get to go back to that at some point. What's that? I might want to get that bag back that I left the figures in. Oh, I'm not sure. No, I hope Dave didn't leave something at Aaron's. What else was I going to talk about today? I was going to show a couple more things. I showed the bikes.
You had those Valaverse figures in your hand.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. This is why you get yourself a fire team partner when you're a scattered mind like my own, guys. And thank God he showed up. I don't know what would happen if he didn't. So Valaverse, yes, Bobby Vala dropped some news today. Some great stuff actually coming out of Vala. And Bobby's been streaming me pictures, which I can't put up here because I'm going to have to get the paid StreamYard and start paying for my StreamYard, because there's no way I can share anything beyond a split screen on the unpaid. So it's fine. But I got Trigger on a good package deal. The same deal I got the Vamp and Mindbender from a good friend of ours, right? And apparently there's a demand out there. People want Trigger enough that Bobby had to go on today and say they are re-releasing a new Trigger. He talked about that when he talked about all the new head sculpt boxes that he is. In that stream, he talks about the soccer mom van, as y'all like to call it there, the RV, the Vala Vamp. And I will say, they're impressing me more and more each time I'm hearing Bobby actually talk about the product and not about the debates about it. They're doing weathering on their van now, and they're getting it out there fast and available. So all their attack vehicles now, they have different color prints. You can get it in pink now, blue, gray, white, whatever. And you can get it weathered, mud on the tires, on the undercarriage, all this other stuff. He showed some add-on packages, which, to just generally overview, picture how the doors and roof appeared for the Vamp Stinger, right?
I'm looking at the pink one right now.
There you go.
I actually kind of like it.
There we are, right? So, thank God you've got that going on, so I can add one more. Darren is the best, right? So there we go, guys. And so Bobby was dropping this just before I was doing lives, and he was talking. Yeah, apparently there's going to be a Trigger re-release, which tells me, I guess, much like some of the other Valas, some are in higher demand than others. What else did he show? He showed the add-ons for that, and just head swaps. And
that was all I had pulled up.
Yeah.
I just saw that pink one. That's all I had pulled up.
So there was a time where Bobby said something, and me and Aaron were both like, "Oh, come on, you can't say that. That's not fair. That's low." Right? It was, "What has Hasbro done for you?" Right? Do you remember them saying that? And we all kind of was like, "Hey, fuck you. I love Classified." There's something he showed today where I was like, now I know the nature of that statement. I get it. I'm with you. All right. I love my Classified, but I'm growing respect for Vala. He's doing hand packs now. And when he talked to the audience, he wasn't talking to the Vala lovers or the Joe lovers. He said, "Conversion guys, this is for you." So the photographers and everybody actually playing with the goddamn toys will now get hands that do this, that, other things up there. Like they get storytelling hands in these bundle packs. And I thought that was genius because there you go, right? This is when we ask, what does Hasbro do for you? They do lots for us. But what does Vala do for you? He acknowledges the fact that you like to fuck around with your toys, right? And he promotes that. And I thought that was interesting.
Hasbro is losing so much money to
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. And that's just it. It's money on the, it's not that it's their money and they're losing it sometimes. It's that it's money on the table and they refuse to reach for it because they think it's not going to be enough. And then somehow they'll lose money over reaching for money. And I think that's a ridiculous, but I get it. But other companies are proving the risk is worth it, if you ask me. Right. And I see a lot of guys in here are kind of on the same thing. Pepto-Bismol armored vehicle. Yeah, I agree. That is a different shade of pink, but that was the request of somebody's wife that they make a pink one. And he did it just to shock her. Like, okay, what else would you like? Right? Like that was the intent of the pink Ravager. It wasn't oh, this will sell like hotcakes. I don't care. It was, yeah, what else do you want? Tell me and I'll see if I can make it happen. Right?
Well, there's only 50 of them, so it don't matter. They're going to sell. He's going to sell all of them quickly because there's only 50.
Yeah, and again, I was just more. I liked the points he was making. I don't think there has to be an argument about Vala or Joe at all. And I personally, I'm glad both lines exist. This is where I saw Patriot Force that I was there at Joe Fest to see. I see them falling into this exact same discussion at some point. You know, the modern soldier and what do they get with them, and is it better than what Buddy's providing? Right? Holy, you guys really like the Vala stuff, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So they are doing customs. I wouldn't say the Vala sounds like they're doing customs. It more sounds like they're reacting to what they think you're saying about the product. That's what I would say about it. Yeah. So for myself, the reason I wanted to talk about Vala was, not Trigger. That I bought a couple. I bought Duster. Nobody likes Duster because of who it's after. Me and Aaron, we both bought them, and it got us a deal. We got them. There just wasn't that many to pick from. But of course, I have to go into solo layout and talk about Sergeant Slaughter. I don't think I would have felt right walking out of Joe Fest. I didn't go for the autograph. I didn't go for the photo op. But I wouldn't have felt right not going for a Vala Sergeant Slaughter at that convention or something to remember that by. Because Sergeant Slaughter, guys, was goddamn amazing. And I don't think 3-star is going to disagree at all on that. Probably, 10 times better than we expected?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm just getting caught up in the chat there. So just to give you an idea of Vala, if we haven't seen the Vala, I did talk to Sergeant Slaughter one-on-one by design. I got him at moments where it wasn't crowded, and I knew he'd have the time to just have someone poke him a little bit. And I did tell him as we waited for an elevator that I'm glad that Hasbro caved and reprinted the Mad Marauders one, so his hat was back on his head. I'm glad that became a big costly deal for them because these guys left it on their head. He liked that. He was a great guy to talk to. He was choking guys left and right. He intimidated the hell out of, or surprised the hell out of Ken at the bar. Were you there to see that?
No, I was. I think Punk and I were still in the bar eating cheeseburgers when that happened, or it happened right after we come out and I went a different direction and was talking to somebody else. I did not witness it.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I did see him and Punk exchange chokeouts. And but the best part was on the first night, everybody was so happy to see each other. We pretty much owned the Marriott lobby, which we probably shouldn't have, but we did. We were spread out throughout and socializing and having a good time. A lot of guys congregated at tables to talk in groups of like 8 and 10. And Sergeant Slaughter walked in and he sat down at one of those tables, and his handler stood right behind him the whole night. And Sergeant Slaughter sat with like-minded Joe fans and showed exactly why he is the ambassador for G.I. Joe, as the consensus would have it. I don't think we saw that coming a mile away. I don't think we saw that coming ever, that he would sit down and spend that time. I think we were all very used to, if you wanted to have time with Slaughter, it was going to cost you some money. That's the biz, right? But it was awesome there. So, yeah, like Aaron said, we own that lobby every night. The Marriott gave up. They couldn't hire security, but no, they had cops walking around the Marriott, armed sheriff, law enforcement. They were the most bored looking people ever.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, man, there was nothing for them to do.
I mean, I think they were mostly, I mean, obviously they're there as a presence, but I think probably they were there in case there were any instances of like shoplifting, jacking stuff off a booth table and walking by.
Yeah,
Because there was enough of them that they could radio, and anybody that did that was going to get caught.
yeah,
But I never heard that happened, but that's why there were so many.
yeah, and it's a good point. I didn't think about the grab and runners or the shoplifters, but I mean,
Yeah.
they would have had a hard time. Like, first, you got to grab the object without anyone really drawing eyes on the fact that you're walking away with it and no money was taken. And then you've got to run, and then you've got to find your way through that convention with no map. Yeah,
There's only 3 ways in and out. Really.
Yeah, yeah. And then through the front doors and out onto the hot Georgia street where the heat wave will knock you down because you got suckered by AC for the last 3 hours. That was killing me every time. Yeah. So we were spoiled with Slaughter is the most.
That the comments you just had highlighted about, was there any toy swapping in the
Yeah, I want
hotel?
to bring that back. Yeah.
I did not like in the rooms. If you're talking about the the room swaps, I did not go to any, but yeah, it was going on. They don't necessarily promote or sanction the room sales and swaps, but they do go on. I don't think any of us took part in any, but I know that they were happening. But they encourage people to set up on tables, just in the not necessarily in the lobby, but more the upstairs part where the conference rooms and the panels and things, the ballrooms are. There's tables everywhere, and they encourage people to set up at those tables. And as far as I know, they don't charge anybody for that, and the hotel doesn't mind because that's the main event going on. Yeah. So that's where those swaps happen. That was walking by. That was where Toy Enhancer gifted me that Ghostbuster figure as we were walking by that in the upstairs lobby. But the room swaps were definitely happening.
Yeah, and before your imaginations get the better of you, just bear in mind, Joe Fest at the Marriott in Augusta was probably on the record as one of the largest sausage fests you ever go to. So if you got any ideas about what those room swaps look like, get them out of your head. They're gross. But yeah, it was mostly done out in the
that's not what was being swapped.
No. And I don't mean to go there, but we went there. But the thing was, the night never really ended until the last guy said it did, right? Like, there was stuff to do at night. You didn't really want to leave the convention center. The blocks around it weren't exactly your place, I would say. They were the locals' place, and if you weren't local, you'll know. But there was enough in the convention center that kept you busy till probably around midnight. Midnight was usually when things would die down a bit, and it was just the Tarkin Pool Club or whatever they called that, and the
Club Tarkin,
and the odd table. The wait staff and the restaurant staff definitely, I think, were happy to see us go, but I don't think they were ever really prepared. That would be one advice I would have for you at Joe Fest is if you are going to go to Joe Fest, they will get, and you're going to get a hotel room. The mini fridge is small. Bring a cooler. Bring some food and snacks if you want to eat to live. If you want to eat to socialize, go down to the restaurant, but don't bring a stopwatch because it's going to fucking die of batteries before your food shows up because they didn't bring enough staff. But yeah.
Saturday was good. Friday was not. I had dinner there Saturday, and I was kind of early for dinner. Like I went down there to eat almost immediately after a Toy Kind of Mood panel was over. We said we all watched that. I think I ran back up to the room, and then I went down because I wanted to eat, and I knew it was going to get crowded. I actually ordered a pizza,
Yeah.
and which is what I wanted Friday, but I couldn't get pizza when we went. So I ordered a pizza and, a beer and a glass of water, and they had that pizza out. I mean, it was probably on the table in the next 20 or 25 minutes, but it was kind of early for dinner for a lot of people there. I think it was like maybe 6:30 when I was down there. I ordered a pizza, a Blue Moon, and calamari.
Yeah.
And nobody came down before I was finished eating. I had a whole little like 4-seater high top table that I got because I'm like, somebody's going to show up and I'm
Yeah.
going to offer them a seat. And nobody come down till like right when I was finished eating. So I ate all the calamari, but I had like half a pizza left. I'm like, nobody showed up, and I actually took the rest of that pizza out, and I give it to Action Figs and to Teflon.
I wonder if that table you got, nobody's showing up, if that was the time Seth Green was roaming around and that's where everybody was.
No, it was closed.
No,
I think he was already gone. He wasn't there. Like, he didn't spend the whole day there.
Yeah, no, he's just in and out. He was actually promoting some new stuff. I guess we can expect from his production company, something Robot Chicken-esque, I guess they were saying. But the karaoke, yeah, Aaron talks. They didn't even have karaoke, and at first I was like, "Oh, what nightmares will ensue after this?" Like if you've ever sat in on terrible karaoke, it's terrible. There are some very talented Joe fans out there, isn't there?
Yeah, I was actually kind of looking forward to the karaoke, and I know my cousin was too, and we went to it because
Oh, I
he
knew
used to
Paul.
own, yeah, he used to own a karaoke business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he can sing very well. And I was actually thinking about it, and I know he was too, but when we got up there, it wasn't really the kind of setup that we were expecting for karaoke. It was a whole different, like, it was in the panel room, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of the people that have had kids were in there, and I mean, it was adult. I mean, people were drinking and stuff, but when I think of karaoke, I mean, I'm picturing like a little dive bar, or I had thought maybe it was going to be in the bar, and we
Yeah.
sat up there and listened to a little bit, and it was like, all right, let's go down, and the lobby's going to be more fun than this.
Yeah.
But there were a couple good singers that we heard.
Yeah, we walked in during A View to a Kill, being sung by Duran Duran, and that guy was right into it. Like, it was again this case where everything's put away, anything that's holding you back is put away. You're there for a good time, and this guy owned the mic, owned the floor on karaoke, and he wasn't the last one to do it. Like, I kept waiting for the one person that would suck and just shut down halfway through the song and storm off, and there wasn't one of them, right? I
Yeah.
myself was nowhere near the idea of even trying to pick up a microphone. And I wanted to get the F out of there quickly because Punk with Toys, he knows, like, I have a soft spot for a bit of Eminem, and I did some stuff for his channel before, and I didn't want to get asked or pressured or handed a mic. So I was like, yeah, I think karaoke's cool. Seen it, gotta go. Right. But some guys went back to it, but we did hear a girl belting out some hardcore Eminem on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, yeah, sorry, had to bail. Yeah, you guys, yeah, I remember walking in because Crow was like, Duran.
Yeah.
Cuz was like, yeah, this is it, because that's his speed, and like, he's singing Duran.
That's the music that was around when I was like 12, right? That's old James Bond music. Yeah. I'm
But
not
yeah,
going on record as a Duran fan. You're not doing that here.
Yeah, we were like, all right, man, well, we decided neither one of us were really going to try and sing. And honestly, I don't think the way our voices were even by Saturday afternoon, early evening, Saturday night. I'm not that great of a singer to start with. And my voice was cracking so much from so much talking and having to talk so loud. I don't think I would have, it'd have been more terrible than what it usually is. So we were just kind of like, yeah, this ain't really what we was hoping. Let's go back downstairs and meet up with everybody. So yeah, you guys were definitely more fun than the karaoke was, Aaron.
Oh yeah, and right there you touched on it too. The voices were destroyed. I went in there with my normal voice, kind of like what it is right now. By the time I left, I sounded like I was trying to do a Legend series impression of Tony on the show. They get so cool and attack like Macho Man all the time. I was doing that nonstop. I think there was a video where you could hear it in my voice. We blew out our voice boxes like day 2, I think. But yeah, the karaoke was funny. But yeah, hanging out with the guys always more. And like I said, no violence, no issues, no fallouts, no drama, no nothing. Just everybody having a good time. And like we said, missing guys like that over there. But the last day, I think, was the saddest day because you knew it was coming to an end and that the good times were, there wasn't going to be a last night tonight kind of thing. Everybody was absorbing that. But I do wish I had seen Pop do that karaoke, Pop Blender, because I have a feeling, just based off of what we now know, Pop, unlike we ever knew him before.
Yeah.
I feel like Pop would have made a great lounge singer that could walk the crowd and charm and swoon old ladies and pass around a tip jar, and everybody would just throw money in it and be like, fine. He'd be like, you're good.
That's kind of when he ran his karaoke business, that's pretty much what he did.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember him actually carrying the tip jar around with him, but like he would get out, he'd walk off the stage and go walk through the crowd with his mic. He is definitely very extroverted, whereas I'm very introverted. That's one thing that we differ on.
Yeah, you see that.
Yeah, I mean he makes his living out of talking to people, and I've picked jobs where I try not to. So
just people suck.
Yeah. So except the people at Joe Fest, they didn't suck. We were all like-minded.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, you can definitely. You had done such a stellar job, kind of telling us like, "Hey, man, I'm going to introduce you guys to my cousin Pop. You're not going to believe this is my cousin, but he's my cousin. And he's completely different than me." And it was, but again, it was like the way you two were together. It's gold, guys. I wish I had a way to describe this. Darren and 3 Star have had a relationship of unique proportions over their lives, being cousins. The stories they share, you're a part of it with them. They do a thing every other Wednesday night. It's Seven's Wild. And you guys, did you do that this Wednesday, or was that just Pop and Matt on Wednesday?
They did theirs on Tuesday and ours was on Wednesday.
That was it, right? So we try to alternate that, but yeah, Pop is exactly as on his live as he is when you see him at the bar. And I did feel bad for him. And Pop is, especially closer to my age with my knee issues. Pop had a lot of discomfort issues. But you want to see a guy in a lot of pain that's grinning ear to ear. Go look at the pictures of Pop, man. He was having a blast.
He had a great time, man. And I tell you what, when he went that last hour and put on that damn Bucky Beaver costume.
Yeah, that yeah. No idea what Bucky Beaver was, but when I saw him come out of the costume, I saw how everybody else lit up. I was like, okay, he killed it again with a good joke. I wish I got it, just like always. Yeah. Hey, I just looked and realized we've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. You've probably been on for an hour and 40 at least before, waiting 10 minutes backstage for me to finish my rants. But what are you up to this week, man? Besides being happy the well's done and dealt with, what else you got on the go, brother? Still opening toys?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got, last night I finally opened my ferret and got my ferret video up.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was the main thing I wanted to get done. I have a couple of other Joe Fest videos. I've got to do one on my memories book. I've got to get that done.
The memories.
Yeah, I haven't showed that off yet. I'm gonna try. That's the main one I want to try to get done later today. As far as the week, I'm gonna try to do some couple videos on stuff that I picked up and just open it. I want to open these Delta 17 figures and show the AWOC figure, even though it's already open. That kind of stuff. The three of us have got to figure out if we're going to do a backyard battlefield. And I am, now that I have water at my camper, this week is 4th of July for us. This is our Independence Day week.
Yep.
So I have another long weekend. I am actually off until I'm off Wednesday through Sunday. So I'm planning to go to my camper. I don't know what day I'm going, but I'm going to go to my camper and spend a few days and hopefully take some figures and get some new pictures. Take some, down to the creek, just kind of relax a little bit. And maybe I'll have some decent cell service so I can stay up to date with what's going on with, the YouTube community and stuff. But that's my plan for the week. I just got to try to knock out Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be hotter than shit. It's supposed to be raining. So hopefully it won't rain and I can finally go down there for a few days. That's all I got going on.
Well, that's more than enough. And I mean, I'm with you. You guys know how much I love the idea of sitting down by a creek and taking pictures of figures and calling that a day. Like, I can't think of a better way to spend that day, man. I really can't. You talked about the heat. I forgot to mention, I came back from Joe Fest and where'd you go? I did this. Oh dear. That hat, man. She got some sweat in it. So I went and bought myself a new hat. There you go. All right. So that was something I had to do as a result of Joe Fest. But before I let everybody go tonight, it's tonight when we finish my streams, I guess. Down south, buddy, it was awesome hanging with you down there. It was a really good time. And I got some great pics of you and I that I don't even know if I want to share them with these guys half the time.
We got some good ones. That's something else that I've got to do is I've got to do now that I've got all my pictures in one spot on the computer, I've got to do a photo dump of just a bunch of pictures.
Yeah. But down south was the reason why I was adamant I had to find this. When I saw his review on my boy McCready from the movie The Thing, I knew I had to get one. So I finally hopped on board the Mecha train and I bought my first Mecha at Joe Fest. I'll do a review on the Ultimate McCready coming up. But when you talked about heating up figs and the poor articulation and how sensitive they can be, boys, yeah, I now understand what that is. But for detail, I mean, it's almost a worthwhile trade-off, right? So that's going to close it out for today. Make sure if you haven't seen 3-Star Draws ferret video yet, it is up. Get on that. I know exactly which ferret he's coming out. Damn it should have been my ferret video, but I waited too long. And you've got a really good toy review on that coming up or out already. And then, of course, we've got Aaron in the chat. Aaron, he's probably slept in today because Missy is making him pay for a little bit of Joe Fest by saying that's fine. Now it's a little bit of Missy Fest till I say stop. And he's probably still doing Missy Fest right now. So good on you, buddy. Rest up. We'll see some videos from you, whatever they are.
Missy Fest.
There you go. And for the rest of you, whether you have a channel and you're making content, if that's you, I hope that you have a great week making content, and I'll be back hitting those likes, and I hope you have a great week doing that. If you're the subscriber, I hope you enjoy what your people put out in front of you for the next few weeks, because we had a great time putting it together. We have a great time with these toys, but remember, the bottom line of doing a channel is so that we can share it with you. So please remember to check out guys like 3-Star Draw, Aaron the Toy Dancer, Cobra Crimson Commander, Daredevil Dave, Loki Ward 2, Punk with Toys. I could go on, but I'm going to end this stream. Darren, I'm going to see you backstage. The rest of you, I'm going to see you in my dreams, motherfuckers.
See you guys.